Hush, little baby, don't you cry. It is just a lullaby. Dreams of rainbows make you stop, and I am here to wake you up!
Hey YouTube. Well, this is my beautiful wife and myself. Just to let you know how I look, who we are. We are perfectly normal thinking people who have eyes open and ears to hear that something is not right. I am driving pretty much in all the states. I would say I'm driving in, that would be New York, it will be Pennsylvania, it will be New Jersey, it will be Delaware, it will be South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, pretty much all the states east of the Rockies I'm driving in. And who I'm driving for is irrelevant, and what I'm delivering is also irrelevant, but I can assure you it is merchandise which is really good for those who still believe that America have a chance. So maybe you can have an idea what I'm talking about. And this is my rig. This is a brand new 2015 D13 Volvo. It got a 12-speed automatic, and I love automatic because you don't have to fight the gears. This one is called iTechnology. It finds out which gear you need to be in, and even got a sensor that feels how much weight you got on your drive tire, so it chooses which gear you start in. It also measures the inclination of a hill that you're straddling up, and it chooses the correct gear for whatever speed, RPMs, and so on. So I don't have to think about anything but keep my eyes on the road and see what's going on around me, and I got a lot of pictures to show for that. But if you see a trailer out there with this on the back, on left side, you would know it is I. I'm trying the best I can to kind of wake up the sheep, make people ask questions. What is chemtrails? And I say they should go Google it, and then they can get an idea. I also want them to Google what sodium fluoride is, and what do I mean about toxic tap water and toxic skies, and why do I say that the TV news is lies? Because it is. They work for them, not for us. And I know there are so many of you out there that is so much against this guy who have this web page. You know, I don't really give a damn what you think about him. I've been listening to a lot of his programs, and I can assure you he's on your side if you are a patriot. He don't like one bit, not one bit, what's going on in this country and around the world. And I can assure you he is referring to our Lord and our Jesus Christ and to the Bible quite often. So whatever you have to say about him, go tell it to him. Don't tell it to me, because I'm not listening. Not at all. Well, these pictures I'm showing now, this one I found on Facebook today. So if it's such a genius plan to spray everyone to save the planet, then tell us why. Tell us about it. Why all the secrecy? Stop calling those who have figured it out conspiracy theorists. You do know that we film every day, right? So do I. I have my laptop with me and my Logitech 10 megapixel 10 times zoom webcam. It's a Logitech C290, I think it is, which I use to record the moon with. But when I'm driving out there, I have a good view of the sky. I also have a good view of what's going on the road. And there's only really two reasons for why I'm using this system. That is, if something happens in the traffic, I have it on tape. But also, if something is quite nasty in the sky, well, I can present it to you in motion pictures and not just stills. So that's the reason for why I'm doing that. And HARP has a lot to do with chemtrails. And this has also a lot to do with chemtrails, these so-called cell phone towers, which I call Gren towers, which is the real name for them. They are a part of a mind control system. They are also part of the coming Project Bluebeam system. They have absolutely nothing to do with cell phones, because you can be quite close to a mast and you have zero signal on your phone. So how can it be a transmitter for cell phone technology? I don't really see that. But it also serves as a purpose to cloak the sky, especially cloak the sun and what is in the vicinity of the sun. I'm not about to speak about Nibiru, Planet X, or whatever we choose to call this object that is orbiting in our solar system right now. That's not the point of this video. But it plays a role, the chemtrails, in cloaking and disguising that something is going on in our sky, and they're doing a frantic attempt to hide that, even though we got numerous of videos everywhere from the planet now that there is something up there, something right next to the sun, and it's definitely not Venus. Have you got that right? It's not Venus. Venus is not that big on the sky. End of story. What's in the chemtrails? Well, you got a lot of different substances such as aluminum, antimony, arsenic, barium, cadmium, chromium, copper, iron, lead, manganese, nickel, and zinc. And we also got fibers, which is called linked to Magellan's disease. We have one on YouTube who actually have Magellan's disease. I think her name is M for Canada 1, I think her name is. She is a friend of mine on Facebook, and she's a very good person, and she is definitely aware. She has her eyes open, she has her ears open, and she can hear, she can see, and she knows what's going on, just like I do, like many of us out there do. But there's still a lot of you, unfortunately, that is in this kind of stalemate. You don't really know if you're supposed to believe in all this stuff. It's just conspiracy. And then there's the other ones, which is in complete denial. And then we have the worst group of them all, such as Poltergeist and what is his name? The guy who called himself something from Hell's Kitchen, that name of astronomy, and he is filthy in his mouth, and so is Poltergeist. They are hired guns to sit and discredit those who bring in the truth to the people. And there's a lot of those out on YouTube creating and spreading disinformation and smearing people in order to trying to ruin their reputation. And they're doing a good effort on my part, my channel. They're also doing that on others' channels. But I can assure you, you little pesky YouTube trolls, Google employees, whatever you throw against me would be like throwing water on a goose. It has no effect. You see, my eyes are open, my ears hear, and I know what's going on. So you can't flip me off my perch, birch, or whatever you want to try to call it. I'm standing strong here. I know what I'm talking about. See, I do read. Now I'm going to read something to you here in a moment. Here we got a satellite picture. This is France, and this is the bottom of England. And all these lines you see on this image from space is chemtrails. Every single one of them. None of this is clouds. We got another picture from the ISS, seen of course from space, and you can see how disgusting and protracted the chemtrail spraying really is. And we got a chemtrail which is from 2013 on May 25th, where we have one long chemtrail stretching all the way from Arkansas all the way through Tennessee, no, that's Missouri, Missouri, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and out into the Atlantic Ocean. One long trail. And all this you see over here is also chemtrails. Practically everything you see on this picture is chemtrails. This is not clouds, people. Look how Florida is being bombarded too. Totally covered. I mean, what the heck? And again, seen from space, this is California being totally drenched in chemtrails. And again, we got California being totally destroyed by chemtrails. And I believe that those people who live in California are seeing this pattern pretty much 365 days a year, because that's where it all begins. It's starting there because they're manipulating the weather, creating drought in California and destroying the economy in California by denying California that much needed rain for their citrus plantations, and they are experiencing the worst drought in recorded American history. And not to be lying to you, there is 2 water producers that is selling fresh water to the populace and making fat profit on it. You drinking it, but you should instead go out when you buy this water to the plantations and pour it into the ground and make those citrus plants and trees grow and flourish so you can get your economy back on schedule. But there's something too in the chemtrails that is not so good, and I will come to that. Here again we got a picture seen from space. Chemtrails everywhere. We got also here a satellite image of chemtrails, and this is not contrails and it is not clouds, but they're forming into what appears to be clouds. But you can see there's a distinct difference between what is a cloud and what is a chemtrail induced cloud, and I'm seeing that every day when I'm driving, every single day. How they are spraying, how they are condensing, how they are accumulating, how they are forming. I can give you a very distinct description of what it is I'm seeing. First there's a line, then there's another line, then there might be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines, and these lines are spreading out. And soon we will have what appears to be some kind of mist, and out of that mist, suddenly inside that mist or whiteness, clouds are beginning to form. What appears to look like clouds, but they are not clouds. I have some pictures of that. Here we got Europe, Switzerland, this is Geneva, and this is not far from where CERN is located. This is not far from where this airplane crashed into the Alps, where this now, unfortunately, the pilot Lubitz is being character assassinated, when eyewitnesses are describing that they saw that there was smoke coming out of the engine of the airplane before it hit the mountain. Also another witness described that the airplane was already breaking up before it hit